The Silent Call, Part 1. On November 6, 2015, a woman named Chen Yin met with a tragic incident. Chen Yin was working at a supermarket at the time. Her last known appearance was on November 3rd, when she returned home normally after her evening shift. The next day, she was supposed to work the middle shift, but she never showed up. Her colleagues noticed Chen Yin's absence and tried calling her several times. At first, the calls connected but were hung up. Later attempts found her phone switched off. Chen Yin was 47 years old then. She had been through 2 marriages, both ending in divorce, and had been living alone since. Her life was simple, revolving mostly around work and home. At the supermarket, she was known as very dependable and hardworking, always arriving 10 minutes early for her shifts. This kind of absence was completely out of character. Everyone at the supermarket spoke highly of her. Concerned, a colleague went to check on Chen Yin at her apartment. Peering through the peephole initially, they saw a bright white light inside. After knocking, calling out, and shaking the door, they looked again to find the view through the peephole had turned dark. Chen Yin lived on the 4th floor. From the ground below, the colleague noticed clothes still hanging on her balcony, left out in the rain. Sensing something was seriously wrong, the colleague contacted Chen Yin's brother to get the door open. Upon first entering, nothing seemed obviously amiss. The apartment was tidy. The bedroom door was open. The brother went in and saw what appeared to be someone lying on the bed. But when he turned on the bedroom light, he was horrified to discover Chen Yin lying there, already deceased. When police arrived, the scene struck them as deceptively calm, lacking obvious signs of a struggle or murder. There was no visible blood or wounds on the body's surface. The doors and windows were intact, showing no signs of forced entry. The entire apartment, including the bedroom, showed no clear evidence of being ransacked. All the furniture was in its normal place. However, the police noticed the floor appeared to have been cleaned. The scene was so calm that police initially considered the possibility of sudden death. But Chen Yin's brother stated she was not old, had always been healthy with no known major illnesses, and her job at the supermarket involved frequently lifting heavy goods, which she managed without issue. Upon closer examination of Chen Yin's body, police discovered some unusual details. These details suggested a scenario inconsistent with normal sleep unless someone had dragged her body onto the bed, causing significant displacement. Although the apartment showed no overt signs of a struggle, the television in the living room was hanging askew. Both its power plug and signal cable had been pulled out. The TV screen had cracks, and the metal stand beneath it was dented and deformed. Such damage wouldn't occur from an accidental bump in daily life. It would require a significant impact. Beneath the TV cabinet was another dent, likely caused when the TV was knocked to the floor during a struggle. Someone had later placed the TV back, attempting to create a false appearance of normalcy. Dust on the TV screen was inferred by police to be from a shoe print. The area around the headboard and bedside in the victim's room was cleaner compared to other spots, suggesting the perpetrator had cleaned up after the act. Furthermore, the trash in the living room bin was missing. Initially suspecting someone familiar to the victim, police inquired if Chen Yin had recently been seeing anyone. Colleagues said there was no indication of that. Chen Yin lived mostly alone, with few visitors. Her personal bag and house keys were found at home, untouched. Having gone through a divorce and working a modest supermarket job, Chen Yin's income was low, and she lived frugally. Police felt robbery was an unlikely motive. The only item found missing was Chen Yin's mobile phone. Police checked Chen Yin's call records and found her last contact was with Zhang Jingjing. Zhang Jingjing told police she did receive a call from Chen Yin that day, but strangely, after answering, there was no speech from the other end. Chen Yin, living alone, had little contact with Zhang Jingjing. The sudden call made Zhang Jingjing worry she might be in trouble. Zhang Jingjing then called back 3 times, but each time, no one spoke. This Zhang Jingjing was Chen Yin's eldest daughter, from her first marriage. However, Chen Yin's first husband had passed away early. After Chen Yin remarried, this daughter, left without care, was given up for adoption. Zhang Jingjing hadn't known about her origins until she grew up and later made contact with Chen Yin. Having never lived together, their relationship was distant, with minimal contact. Police also discreetly investigated Zhang Jingjing's activities around the time of the incident. Finding nothing unusual, she seemed unrelated to the homicide. Given the infrequent contact between Zhang Jingjing and Chen Yin, why was the last call made to her? If Chen Yin made the call herself, she might have been in trouble already, trying to seek help. If the call was made by the suspect, why choose this largely estranged eldest daughter? And why remain silent after connecting? A few days after the incident, someone contacted the police, saying they had found Chen Yin's phone. If the murderer took the phone for financial gain, why discard it so carelessly? From her second marriage, Chen Yin had another daughter. Although this second marriage also ended in divorce, she had raised this daughter from childhood, so their relationship was closer. Furthermore, this second daughter, Zhang Xian, had recently gotten married to her husband. Zhang Xian told the police that before the incident, Chen Yin had called her, saying Wang Ruifen was everywhere looking for her, Zhang Xian, and they had a big argument over it. This Wang Ruifen was Wang Xian's husband. After their marriage, Wang Ruifen's relationship with Chen Yin was poor. Wang Ruifen stated that he had indeed been looking for Chen Yin, precisely to ask for Wang Xian's whereabouts, but Chen Yin refused to tell him. Wang Ruifen felt Chen Yin was intentionally hiding information and stated that if they could make the marriage work, fine. If not, they should divorce, and not drag things out like this. Since Wang Ruifen and Wang Xian had only been married for a few months, and Chen Yin was deeply dissatisfied with Wang Ruifen's character, the conflict between them had erupted. The Silent Call, Part 2. When police asked Wang Ruifen about his whereabouts on the night of the incident, he claimed he was out socializing and had not gone to his mother-in-law's place. However, after reviewing surveillance footage, the police found Wang Ruifen's car entering the victim's residential complex on the night in question. Faced with the video evidence, Wang Ruifen changed his story, admitting he did go to see Chen Yin that night, solely to ask about his wife Zhang Xian's whereabouts. But Wang Ruifen insisted. He only knocked on the door. Chen Yin refused to open it, and he did not enter the apartment. The police noticed in the surveillance footage that there was another person in the passenger seat. Another man had gone with him that night, Wang Ruifen's friend, Wang Gen. Wang Gen stated that upon arriving, he said he wouldn't go upstairs. Wang Ruifen went alone, and he had no idea what happened. Clearly, having gone there but lying about it was suspicious. Confronted with the surveillance, Wang Ruifeng changed his story again, saying he went but didn't go upstairs. However, Wang Ruifeng's car entered the victim's complex and didn't leave until over an hour later, so it definitely wasn't a case of just knocking and leaving as he claimed. Later, Wang Ruifeng changed his story once more, saying he went upstairs and was just playing with his phone outside the door. Subsequently, police discovered 2 sets of male shoe prints in Chen Yin's living room. During the search of Wang Ruifeng's home, the shoes matching one set were found. Zhang Xian revealed that even before the incident, Wang Ruifeng had been persistently harassing her and had even threatened to kill her family members. When asked why he was so desperate to find Zhang Xian, Wang Ruifeng said it was because he missed his wife so much. Wow! Painting himself as some lovesick romantic. Since the topic of divorce had been raised earlier, a reporter asked if it was about divorce. Wang Ruifeng changed his tune again, saying he hadn't considered divorce at all, but was just too in love with his wife and wanted to see her. This guy's appearance narrow, triangular eyes and a fiercely mean face made him look like no good from the start. Wang Ruifeng and Zhang Xian met online. At the time, Wang Ruifeng boasted about owning a house and a car, having a stable job with good prospects, and earning over 10,000 a month, conditions considered quite good locally. Zhang Xian, a marriageable age and meeting a man with such credentials, naturally thought he was a good match. Thus, the two rushed into marriage without really knowing each other for long, having met only a handful of times. Wang Ruifeng also voiced his grievances, claiming that not long after marriage, he discovered he had been tricked. Their relationship rapidly deteriorated. In just half a year of marriage, they were constantly fighting. Zhang Xian eventually hid away just to avoid Wang Ruifeng. Due to her parents' divorce, Zhang Xian had dropped out of school at 15 to work. To make a living, she had always worked jobs like a KTV attendant or promoting alcohol sales in bars. Because such work isn't viewed favorably by society, Zhang Xian lied, saying she sold clothes in a boutique. Feeling Wang Ruifeng's conditions were superior to hers and burdened by guilt over her profession, Zhang Xian always felt somewhat inferior to him. What Zhang Xian didn't expect was that while she had merely concealed her job, everything Wang Ruifeng had told her was fake. The house, car, job all fabricated by Wang Ruifeng to deceive naive women like Zhang Xian. Burdened by feelings of unworthiness and guilt towards Wang Ruifeng, shortly after marriage, Zhang Xian was easily persuaded by Wang Ruifeng to hand over all her savings under the pretext of him needing it for business. This was the most important reason their relationship fell apart within just half a year of marriage. Chen Yin had experienced 2 failed marriages. Now, her daughter Zhang Xian's marriage was a mess within half a year. Zhang Xian feared her mother couldn't handle it, so even after realizing Wang Ruifeng was a scoundrel, she endured in silence. Later, a male friend called Zhang Xian to have a meal together, which Wang Ruifeng overheard. Having already shown his true colors, Wang Ruifeng abandoned all pretense and even resorted to physically assaulting Zhang Xian. Wang Ruifeng dismissively referred to all this as just arguments. After being beaten not just once or twice, Zhang Xian could take no more and finally reported him to the police. After that, she fled, refusing even phone contact. Wang Ruifeng couldn't find her. Before marrying Zhang Xian, Wang Ruifeng had already been married twice. This was his third marriage. Each divorce, he found reasons to blame the woman, insisting he himself was never at fault. Even while still legally married to Zhang Xian, this man had already found a fourth foolish woman to deceive. Having been married to Zhang Xian for only half a year and having already squeezed her dry of all her savings, Wang Ruifeng likely felt this woman had no more value to extract and wanted to move on to his next target. Really couldn't wait a moment, because he had found a new source to exploit. Wang Ruifeng was eager to divorce Zhang Xian to avoid complications. His pattern was always the same: meet online, boast about his excellent conditions. After getting involved, find ways to entrap the woman, use marriage as a tool, employ a mix of soft and hard tactics to swindle the woman out of her assets, drain her dry, then move on to the next. Police theorized that because Zhang Xian had fled and he couldn't contact her, he went to find Chen Yin. After killing Chen Yin, he took her phone precisely to try and contact Zhang Xian. Later, he found the contact for eldest daughter in Chen Yin's phone book. Unaware that Chen Yin had a daughter given up for adoption, he logically assumed this number belonged to Zhang Xian. After calling and realizing it wasn't Zhang Xian, he remained silent. Although Wang Ruifeng persistently denied involvement in the case, police found the eldest daughter's phone number on his phone. Since these two didn't know each other at all, where did Wang Ruifeng get this number? When questioned by police, he remained stubborn, refusing to admit it, even trying to bluff by saying it was Zhang Xian's number. Faced with police questioning, Wang Ruifeng couldn't give a consistent explanation. This Wang Gang was also an incredibly foolish accomplice. He himself was married with a family, had a decent life, but just because he was helping a friend, he ended up implicated in murder. If Wang Ruifeng had a vicious face, Wang Gang had a foolish one. He and Wang Ruifeng were birds of a feather, married but not thinking of living a steady life, fooling around outside all the time. Otherwise, how would he have gotten mixed up with Wang Ruifeng? Having been married to Wang Ruifeng for half a year, Zhang Xian understood his character. Like many male murderers, Wang Ruifeng came from a poor family. His parents had several daughters before finally producing him, the prince of the slums. Pampered since childhood, this heir was raised into the murderer he is today. The police had visited Wang Ruifeng's home. His parents were in their 60s, and the family was still appallingly poor. The elderly couple still relied on raising dogs to earn money. Suffering through the harsh winter, they couldn't bear to let their precious son endure the slightest hardship. What's the point of raising a son, if not for support in old age? The son was out there living the high life, enjoying ill-gotten gains from scams and fraud. Did he ever care about his parents' survival? And now he's a murderer. It's self-inflicted. Raising such a creature harms others and ultimately themselves.